reckon if we sew Zrilich's pockets shut on his jacket and his pants, we'll finish top 4.
No, but just put it this way really quickly. Yeah. He would have no doubt been told by the Wellington hierarchy, because there were very much strong calls among the Wellington fans to sack Giancarlo.
Yes, there was.
He was no doubt told, fix up or you're in trouble.
Yep.
And what has he done? He's been handed a pretty shitty hand.
Yep.
With a lot of players gone. Beat Wrexham, beat Perth Glory.
Yep.
Done. David Zrilich has been given facilities.
Yep.
New backroom staff. New players.
An A-League squad.
That also included, 2 seasons ago, Golden Boot winner.
Yep.
And he was told by Vince... There was that interview that was done by Vince Grella and Ross Pelligra at the back end of last season where Vince said, and I quote, or I'm going to paraphrase actually, he basically said, we're going to give faith to the coach because we believe he wasn't given the tools to succeed. And so he's been given the tools, and then we're going to judge him on the basis of that. Now when we get to the Milan game...
Speaking of tools...
Now when we get to the Milan game, where it was a global opportunity to promote ourselves and show we are ready to go again, and to the people of Perth, and especially those Euro snobs that were maybe considering to possibly get a Perth Glory membership, given that our membership drive started the day before, it would have been really good. It would have been really good for us to put in a great performance, or at least competitive performance, which after half time... It was like, what the fuck are we watching?
I was gonna come on this podcast and put out a tweet and say I was quite. This is before the game started. I was thinking about this because as I walked into the stadium and I saw so many AC Milan fans who obviously are from Perth. A lot of them, obviously, there was like the Melbourne whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, well, this is a bit disgusting. Like, you all show out for AC Milan, but then when it comes to the Glory, you'll do nothing. Like, you won't even bother.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame them.
I don't blame them.
So stay with me now. I was going to tweet about that, and I was going to bring that up on the podcast and say how disappointing it was. However,
that happened.
After this performance and what there's been like the last couple of years on top, I don't blame you.
Can we also say this as well?
Yes.
Which is a good point that, Will, I believe you made it. First at the game.
Yeah,
James, you may have made it. I'm not too sure.
No, it was definitely Will.
What do we actually gain from this game? Because not only...
humiliation.
Not only did we get... I'm trying to think of words.
Think of an appropriate word.
Not only...
Pummeled.
Did we get absolutely...
Dismantled.
Decimated at the hands of AC Milan. Not only... Did we disgrace the A-League and ourselves?
And
Not
WA
only
football.
have we damaged our reputation to potential new fans, to existing members, to potential sponsors, to existing sponsors, to the state government.
And Ross.
Not only that, but we were also the away team, which means we don't even get the majority share of the fucking ticket revenue. So we didn't make any money. We damaged our reputation. But we played a meaningless friendly.
Soleimani might have picked up a knock.
Soleimani possibly picked up a knock. And we gained nothing from this game.
Just a quick...
All we did, the biggest thing we gained... was getting 300,000 likes on a 433 Instagram post about AC Milan absolutely doing us where the sun doesn't shine.
Just quickly, we do have to say, obviously, there is a huge difference in the quality of play. Just
wait.
Otherwise, we're going to get too much fucking hate mail.
No. Can I just say? One more thing.
Yeah, okay.
He gave me the absolute shits when I saw it. This was after the post for 433-1. One of the top comments is, "Oh, guys, I just looked at the Glory from the A-League last season, and this is normal for them. They always lose by big margins." I could not fucking believe it. But you know the worst part?
What?
I couldn't even disagree. I couldn't even say, well, no, you're actually wrong, because this is Glory heritage now.
But again, we do have to acknowledge that there is almost the difference in transfer valuation per transfer
that
market.
doesn't justify 9 mil.
Just let me transfer. What the fuck was Kingsway's transfer value when they played the victory?
Wait, let me say it.
Their transfer value is probably less than the fucking cost to set up that grandstand that they had.
Let me finish.
I don't want to.
They are. I'm just trying to set the scene.
Well,
so
I
that-
don't
actually look
like
at
Just wait.
AC Milan big.
I've not even got to my point yet. Let me finish, for fuck's sake. So,
Let me finish.
AC Milan squad is worth 830 million Australian dollars per transfer market. Ours is worth 12.
Okay.
But just hold on. Just let me finish before you guys get your knickers in a-
James, I'm listening.
Okay. This is not our first rodeo playing against a top European
Correct.
side for pre-season
Yes.
in at least mid-July.
Correct. As
And
the A-League's
that's-
always post
and
about.
that's-
I would love to see what Plymouth Argyle's value was when they beat Liverpool.
And
last
just
year
hold on.
as well.
Okay, what was the Australian national team's value when we knocked out
Denmark.
I know.
What-
No, guys.
Hey, let's put A-League context. What was Sydney's value when they beat Celtics last year?
Shut up. James's point is a good one. Just let it. I know where he's going with this.
Just hear me out. So, this is not our first, rodeo when it comes to playing against a top European
Yes.
side. We played Chelsea in 2018. They went on to win the Europa League.
Yes.
We played Manchester United, who went on to finish third that season in
Correct.
the 1920 season.
Ollie
right?
at the wheel.
And in particular, when we played Chelsea,
Yes.
we had only been training for about 3.5 weeks.
Yes.
Yep.
For context.
Correct.
And players were not all at the same fitness level.
No.
Not everyone came in on the 28th of June.
No.
Just like there's no doubt not every player that played against Wellington or Milan came to preseason training on July 1.
Burn.
But I
Yeah.
just think it's absolutely embarrassing that we got as towed up as we did.
Yes.
And it was as embarrassing as it was.
No.
That is my point.
Yes. I
So,
agree.
okay, the fans, because this is the thing, we do have to acknowledge there are Glory fans
Yeah.
that are saying the result doesn't matter. We expected this because of the difference in infrastructure and finance and quality of players.
I never
There are fans.
expected nine
There are
or-
fans that are.
I said 10 in the group chat.
Yeah, I know.
That was a
But-
joke.
Not again. Everyone had different views,
Yeah.
but there were two prevailing camps. Either what the fuck was that, or we kind of saw this coming.
Yeah.
At least some players had a go, like Choir trying to dribble here and there, and at least we created
And
a
just
couple
got-
of chances here and there.
Yeah, because they felt bad and tried to.
I know.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You know one major person who seemingly doesn't give a shit about this result?
Go on.
David Zrillich in his post-match press conference
Let
coming
me
out
just-
and saying that, don't worry, guys,
Can I just-
we're not reading too much into this.
Let me just get that quote. So
the
that-
exact quote, please, James.
the exact quote, because it was it got absolutely flamed on the socials. So David said, number one, he said it was a learning experience. Number two, he said it's early in the preseason. You've got to be careful. You've done 3.5 weeks of training. You've played a game 120 minutes, and then you're playing 4 days later. You're not conditioned to do that, firstly. And then to play a team like that, it's much harder. I think we're not reading too much into it.
Okay, just want to say, right? I'm going to go through some managers here that we've had in the past.
Yes.
If this was to happen
Yes.
with this manager in charge, I want you guys to say, would we get a response like that? Just yes or no? Or would we get a that's not good enough response? Right, ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to list them. Tony Popovich.
We would not be getting that, no.
No. Kenny Lowe.
no.
Probably not.
Stadge.
No.
Probably not.
Probably
Oh,
not.
Stadge would.
He just looked disappointed.
He would.
Oh, look, I'm very disappointed in the performance, boys. But
This is just
No,
not good
but
enough.
the problem is that Dave is, for as much as he is.
Dave thinks he's a nonchalant dreadhead. That's what he thinks he is.
No, just hold on. For as much as there is a teeny tiny argument that says, okay, the result is sort of irrelevant because it's not a competitive fixture, number one, it's still quite alarming the
Yes.
way in which we conceded the goals. But not just that, what did I say to you two at the game as early as the first half? We looked gassed.
Yeah.
We looked fatigued. Now, interesting
He
fact.
said that in the 20th minute, The 20th
So,
minute.
Yeah.
20th minute. 5 players that started the game against Milan played either 100 minutes
Yeah.
or more. So that was Sutton, that was Risdon, that was that was Osler,
Oh, yes, sir.
that was I think Timmins,
Yep.
and I think Gamulka, from memory.
Okay. And that's cool. And I agree. Like, that's half the lineup was probably gassed, right?
And the fact that we had that,
Yes.
but not only that, we're preserving players
Yeah.
so that they would be ready for the Milan game rather
And
than
just for that.
And unless they want to try and explain things a little clearer than how Zrilla seemed to do so in the press conference
Yeah.
leading into
Which
the
they
Milan
won't.
game.
The fact that we were
Yeah.
preserving players we put
What
out a
a
weakened
farce.
lineup.
Yep.
Just get this through your for the people at home. Get this through your heads if you haven't already. We played a weakened squad against a dog shit Wellington Phoenix in the Australia Cup
In a game that matters.
in a cup competition that matters.
Yep.
Because we wanted to rest players for a near meaningless
Or they
preseason
weren't
friendly
ready.
in which we weren't
Yeah.
even set up to make a profit on.
Correct.
Think about that for a second.
Well,
Not only did that happen, not only did we rest those players and subsequently get knocked out of the cup for it, but we also managed to embarrass ourselves against AC Milan and lose
I mean, look,
9-0.
to be fair, there would have to be some financial incentive for
There
us.
would have-
There
would- there
really
would've
is
been.
not much,
There would've
though,
been.
when you think about it. Unless there's some behind the curtains deals that are going on, I really don't see
but we also
any profit.
I-
but
movement from
we also don't know though the behind the scenes financials, Alex.
I had a chat with someone who knows a lot more than us,
Ross.
No, fat chance.
and he was very certain that this was basically a very minimal profit game. Hence why
the government organised it.
Yeah, but in terms of what Glory were getting back,
This was a moneymaker
Yeah,
for the WA government.
Yeah.
I was
This was a
I was
moneymaker for the
told
WA
the Glory were getting it's like almost like an NPL friendly type,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
barely any money.
This was purely a moneymaker for the WA government. AC Milan rented the stadium, rented
Yes.
HBF Park off of the WA
Hence why
government
we were the away
to
team.
attempt
Yeah.
to improve relations and to get over the line the deal to host the first Serie A match outside of Italy,
which will be happening in
Perth,
February.
Which will be happening in February.
Yeah.
With
Makes
Cromwell.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
However, the Glory set themselves up to fail here because we got knocked out of the Australia Cup by playing a weakened side when we didn't have to. We then put out a tired side against AC Milan and got played off of the park,
Yeah.
embarrassed ourselves,
Yeah.
turned away several long-standing members, including some of us on the panel here.
Yeah,
And look, last year was my first ever year being able to afford a membership for myself.
Yeah.
I seriously doubt that I'm going to be rushing to get a membership back. You can give me a 50% discount. I'm still seriously doubting I'm coming back to the shit.
But how much though should we be reading rationally into the Milan game itself?
But it's
given
not.
that-
It's not
but
about.
just,
Alex,
but just
it's okay.
But given that,
It's
but
all right.
obviously again, given the huge disparity in quality and
Yeah.
the fact that we were fatigued.
Yep.
How much should we be looking to read into it?
Look-
What should we be looking to take away from
look,
the game?
I would say you are more than justified to say, hey, look, this was our second game of preseason hours against one of the biggest clubs in the world.
in 4 days.
In 4 days, right?
Yep.
But also on the other side of it, you do have to say, breaking news, man does job.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, right? Oh no, we've asked these professional footballers who are living their dreams, supposedly, because that's why you're playing football. This is your job.
Yep.
You've had a month, or just under a month, to prepare. But
And
you know,
ideally a bit of time beforehand.
Exactly.
and you know to eat well, to still train during the off season, just to keep yourself at least fit enough to be ready, because you know this game's coming up.
Yeah.
This AC Milan game is not like oh my gosh, we have 1 week to prepare. You knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Similar with the Australia Cup, you knew we had to play against
Yeah.
the Phoenix for a long time. Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to be given the respect as a footballer by the fans, you know, you need to earn it. You don't
Yeah.
just get it by playing on the football field. Congratulations, you made it. But
Yep.
if you're going to whine and complain and play the, well, we're tired card,
Yep.
that's your fault.
That's true.
This is your job. Respect the job.
Yeah.
Do the job well, or, as happens in every other job, you will get fired, and in this trade, you'll get let go. Okay? Like, I respect Rizzo.
Yeah.
Okay, I get he's getting on an age. Look, the guy's been my profile picture on Twitter for as long as I can remember. I
Yeah.
love Josh Risden.
Me
But
too.
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you don't come back fit, I'm not saying he didn't come back fit. This is an example because he got gassed pretty quickly and he has been getting gassed quite a lot recently.
And he did play it was
Yeah.
well over 100 minutes.
And all power to him. He's one of the only players I've seen who shows passion all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know,
He played a game with a fucking broken rib last season.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, yeah.
So is what my point is. He earned that respect.
Yep.
Yep. So all power to him. I love that he, you know, he might not be the best at times, but he still tries. You know, but when you look at the other side of things, you know, when it comes to positives, I'll always name the player, but negatives I won't.
Yeah.
The fans who watch the games will know the players who've come in not looking fit, don't really care. You'll see it in the Milan game and the Wellington game, and you just see that they're there to play football. but they're not there to win your respect.
We looked spooked very early in that Milan game. And I know you're playing against a top side and that you're in the limelight, 20,000 are there at HBF Park, but fuck, we look spooked.
Just, I don't have words to describe how bad it was, because genuinely it was bad. You know, it's almost like you don't want to earn the respect from the fans by actually doing your job properly. That's fine. But at least respect yourself a little bit and at least put in a better effort to not lose 9-0 on a national, global, even international stage, where you know there are people from Europe who will be watching, because Milan's fan base is
Global.
There were, I'm sure, over the, Twitter, Instagram, and everything, millions of people who would have seen these
And again,
highlights.
they would have been gassed, but they also looked like they just gave up.
They just,
at the end.
yeah, and we got to 8, and then Milan gave up with 20 minutes left. If Milan decided, hey, let's just get 10, they could have.
Well, the concerning thing for me, and then Josh, I want to hear your thoughts, is if you watch the goals back individually and you just watch how we, look to deal with those respective situations.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary, like the fact that we are seeing similarities, and you can't blame any Glory fan, I guess, because I immediately felt at halftime, did I just watch a rerun of round 1 against MacArthur from last season, where it was like bang, bang, fucking bang, and
it
we
was
had
pretty similar.
It was
5 goals within half an hour, and
Yeah.
it got the exact same repeat against Milan. It was 5 in, what was it?
36.
36 was it?
Yeah, I think so.
There
Yeah.
were a lot of
Because very
times where I
similar.
genuinely
Very, very
thought like our players looked like they just didn't know what to do, like defending.
Well, not just that. Even building out. Again, you made the point, Alex, about building out from the back. I think there was possibly a goal that we tried to build out from the back, but we played ourselves into trouble because we either are still very raw into learning these ideas, or we're badly coached.
Or you don't care.
We play it out from the back and we concede, and then we try to bomb it long like we did off kickoff in the second half, and we concede within 15 seconds. So apparently we can't do anything right. And one thing that also kills me, one thing that just gets on my nerves, is the simple fact that, look, it's like Will said, right? You have these certain players that when you watch them play, they're playing to try and give back to the fans.
There's an urgency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if I can name a few names, Sutton, Risdon, Timmins,
Qua.
Blair, these guys are 5 guys at least who I've seen.
Soleimani put in a good shift, yeah.
And Taggart, I'll say as well, have gotten their minutes in preseason. And when you watch them, this guy wants to fucking play for the club. Will Franey as well, another one. That every time he steps on the pitch, you're like, this guy wants to be here. This guy wants to give his all. And you have those ones that don't. And here's the thing. I know it's a running joke how people are like, oh, the A-League's the world's longest off-season, guys. The world's longest off-season.
It is ridiculous.
You want to know the great thing about having the world's longest off-season? Is that you have the longest fucking time to prepare
And get
for
fit.
your league season.
Yeah.
So there is zero excuse and zero logical reasoning as to why we should even be a shred, a sliver underdone.
Well,
Physically, mentally, tactically. In any department, we should not be underdone going into a cup game, going into a serious friendly, going into a league campaign that this year could very well be the difference between whether or not the Glory is seriously in the shit. And I'm not talking about back-to-back spoons. I'm not talking about
The golden spoon.
I'm not talking about the golden spoon, as Ross Pellegro would put it.
Sorry.
I'm not saying any of that. I am seriously concerned with the way that the A-League is going, with how the Glory has not only treated its members in terms of poor value of memberships and just dog shit on-field performances. I am seriously concerned that if we do not shape shit up soon, this could be a very, very detrimental time in the history of the club. We cannot afford to get this wrong. And look,
I
from
think a
the
majority of the damage is already done. Though.
I agree, but the scary thing, Josh, is that it can definitely get worse. And the thing is as well, I'll make one more point.
Yeah.
We've been told that currently there are no friendlies planned for the Perth Glory.
As we understand it, or as I understand it, it is unlikely that there will be friendlies this month because there is the focus on conditioning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have months now.
So we've got August, we've got September, and then we've got October 15th, which is when the first A-League game will be played. So
2.5 months.
Yep.
And since July 1st, that will make 3.5 months worth.
But
if we get to round 1,
Yep.
and I hear one word
Of underdone.
one single piece of dialogue belonging to the English lexicon that even describes the thought that we are in any way, shape, or form underdone in any metric, I am going to pack my bags and move to the Tibetan mountains,
Right, okay.
and I will move. I will lose every memory I have of this football
Okay,
club
just-
because I will
okay.
lose my
Okay,
shit.
just-
I will not take another underdone excuse.
No, but I think that the better question is, given that this was probably at the direction of our new head of performance, who, as far as I'm concerned, has a fairly good resume and reputation. Given that he only arrived at the club in late June, as far as I'm aware, officially,
Yeah.
there were 2 key individuals who were not arriving at the club recently and had a long time to prepare how this season was going to go and how pre-season was going to go. So my question is to Stan Lazaridis and David Zrilic, knowing that we had the pre-season game against Wellington on the date that it was.
Cup game against
I said the Australia Cup game, in the pre-season, and we had the friendly against Milan. Why did we not seem to be in a good enough condition when previously, as I mentioned, under Popper, we had played 2 MPL friendlies against sides so that, hey, maybe it wasn't perfect. Maybe it looked a little bit shit. I don't
Better
know. I
than
didn't
nothing.
get to go to those games.
Yeah.
But I imagine Popper would have been using that time to go and get the players' condition, the new guys especially, get them to learn his system and get them to a level so that when they play a really big European team,
Yeah.
that we can at least look competitive.
As we have done in the past.
When we all would have watched more or less the Wrexham tour games on the TV, obviously, between Sydney, Melbourne Victory, and Wellington. They did not look anywhere near as flat as we did. And obviously there's the context that we played 120 minutes beforehand, but even still, there have been so many A-League clubs that have played pre-season games.
Played is a very
Well, I think it's more.
5 players did, not the entire rotation.
Yeah.
I think it's also a bit of like both the players at other clubs. Look, I know this is a big call, having more of a more professionalism and wanting to keep themselves in good shape in the off season. They might not be required to, but they'd want to.
The irony is that Brisbane Roar at the day of recording played in a pre-season friendly against Auckland, and by all accounts,
They won as well.
no, they drew 2-2.
Oh, did they draw?
Yeah,
Oh,
there was a
wow.
last-minute equaliser for
I did
Auckland.
not see that. Okay.
But they have been on the front foot because if it wasn't for us
And
being a
fair
clown show, they would have been number 2 in terms of every A-League fan's attention of these guys are fucking hopeless and useless.
Yeah.
They have organised so many pre-season friendlies, be it
So
MPL
11?
opposition. I think it's 11 games that they'll be
Yeah.
playing in pre-season.
Fair play.
And it's not necessarily a competition about playing the most pre-season games.
No, but
it's about having a plan.
Yeah.
So my question is, Stan Lazaridis, what are you doing?
Can we just say as well?
good.
I want you to picture this, lads. All right?
Go on.
Last season, obviously, we played quite a few preseason games, but there were the claims that we were underdone. I want you to picture this. It's round 1 of the 8-league season. We've just lost 4-0 to Brisbane Roar. David Zrilic goes into the post-match press conference.
Several players were underdone.
Hold on. Yeah, the boys were a bit rusty because we didn't play enough preseason games.
Yeah.
Did we not hold on, just to make it even better, did we not in the fan forum complain about not having enough preseason games? Did Stan Lazaridis
we did.
Stan Lazaridis
Specific.
Stan, he complained about not having enough preseason games.
Yeah.
He
He did.
also complained about how
The
the,
players not
Australia
being
Cup,
fit enough.
how the Australia Cup, the club didn't act. Look, the club was pissed that we got through to the next round because
I wouldn't say
they were
pissed.
pissed. Sorry, I wouldn't say they were pissed, but they had something lined up in terms of a preseason tour.
Yep.
Us making it through was so unexpected that it completely derailed our preseason plans, and they were unable to.
We
fix
weren't expecting from the comments that were made by those that were getting interviewed on the radio leading into the Brisbane qualifier.
Yeah.
There wasn't the expectation or that big assertion that we're going there to win. It was
But
like,
why would you be so stupid enough to assume that we were going to lose unless you're deliberately going to throw it, which they clearly didn't because they won fairly convincingly.
I think they were hoping to win, but they were like, well, we've got this pre-season tour lined up. But the broader point is that our planning so far, if the information that we have received is accurate, in that the focus will be on conditioning and no preseason games lined up.
Yeah.
That's pretty alarming.
I just want to add a quick point. A couple months ago, I did the teams meeting, the FRG, the 100-member
Yeah.
Glory
Yeah.
teams meeting, and I put in a question, and Stan personally said himself, I said, how are you going to ensure that the players are fit? What protocols?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
et
yeah.
cetera? And he literally laughed and he said, "Oh, we're going to do a lot of running." And then
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, we're just going to make sure, they do well in the beep test, yada, yada, yada." But, like, he treated it like the question was a joke.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to think he was
Well,
serious.
Here's the thing. I genuinely do believe that Stan is so thick in the head that he thinks that there's a direct correlation between being a top tier footballer and what you score on a beep test. I'm so convinced.
Well,
From everything we've heard from Stan's mouth over the last 18 months is the most just clueless and just most dumb statements.
And Ross isn't a football guy, by the way.
Ross isn't a football
he's not,
guy either.
No, he's not a football guy, and we're going to win the Golden Spoon this year.
The golden spoon.
So
ladies and gentlemen.
So it's a bit of an inside joke, but yeah. So my concern also with Stan is that it seems as though we've made the signings that we have done, and then he's sort of just gone.
I
Well,
feel
that's me done. Lolly, we couldn't get Lolly. Ah, well. Yet again, do you guys know how many goals we scored last season?
Couldn't get this
was
player
it
that was vital for
30
our
or something,
rebuild because we
34?
budgeted like shit. Oh,
we scored 22
I was
goals.
going to say it was less than we games
Was
we
it only
played, right?
22?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we scored
less
so
than
we
one
scored
goal
we've
a
scored
game.
we've scored 22 goals.
Yeah.
Yet we've used 3 visa spots on
Yeah.
Sutton, Caltech, and Wootton, and we've re-signed Luke Amos, which no problem, all good. But we've now only got 1 visa spot left. It seems like we're desperately trying to get Lolly, which to me suggests that either we haven't done our scouting well enough and have got options lined up as plan B or C, or yeah, fuck. I mean, we were thinking Lolly was the one, and
I'd be happy with Lolly, but still, like, putting all our money signing a 33-year-old winger who's got questionable hamstrings.
and we've been taking too long, it seems.
Yeah.
And the only saving grace for us, as I alluded to in a piece that I wrote, the Indian Super League is in big trouble financially. They are in huge trouble to the point where the governing body of the whole competition is basically saying there is no guarantee that you guys are even going to be part of the Indian football calendar this season.
Did you see the statement yesterday from Odisha's club president?
I did.
The league.
Odisha, a team in the Indian Super League that employed a men's team, a women's team, a
Academy.
youth academy,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that kind of stuff, and finished mid-table, respectively, just missed out on the playoffs, seized all operations yesterday, including the entirety of the men's teams. Contracts were cancelled. Only the women's team was kept on cheap deals, and key staff were kept. The rest of the staff had their contracts immediately terminated.
Or put on hold.
Or put on hold for the simple reason that the season and the ISL could not guarantee that the season would even go ahead.
Yeah.
Therefore, they could not get money for sponsorships
Yeah.
or anything like that,
couldn't
and
justify it.
couldn't afford
Yeah.
to pay players. That is outrageous. There are 2 possible saving graces for this Glory team.
Yeah.
One is the pool of Australian players that you can get from the Indian Super League, that being McLaren, that being
Cummings.
Ryan Williams, Jason Cummings, that being Dimi Petratos. The other saving grace, and this is a bit more of an unlikely one in my opinion, but Western United.
Okay.
They might be in
Currently,
trouble.
Currently, after calculating the value of all their assets, are still 55 million Australian dollars in debt.
Yeah, they're in huge trouble.
It is very
I don't
possible
know how.
that their new ownership bid will not go through
Yep.
with the APL,
Yep.
and they will be essentially removed from the league, and their contracts for their players
if
will
that
be null and
option
void.
gets to
If it gets to
there.
that.
Yeah.
There is a very, very promising pool of players there.
Who would you
Kachas-
poach?
Kachowski number one.
I put
Ibusuki.
out a list. I put out a list in the group
Was he
chat
left?
earlier. Let
Wait.
me get up
Kacha-
this list.
could-
But I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen,
Is
there
Ibusuki
is
still there?
Yes.
Ibisuki
I'd
is
love
still
it.
there.
But he is 34.
I know, but I
But,
just
but
love
listen
it.
here.
It's a
Listen to
big
some
deal.
of these names, all right? And this is
Go on.
without counting visa players or anything. Kucharski, Shamoon, Tate Russell, Dylan Leonard, Matthew Bozanovsky, Thurgate, Grimaldi,
I'll take Thurgate.
Alec.
Actually, we don't need more men.
Yep, Wallity. Even younger players, the likes of Najovsky, Lavale, You've got good young players there that can come in and seriously improve our squad depth. You have someone like Tate Russell that can provide a very serviceable option at right back. Dylan Leonard, I doubt we can convince him to come in, but if we did move to a back three, holy hell, would he be an incredible addition?
Can we just...
You look at... Just hold on for a sec, sorry.
Yeah.
You look at someone like Matthew Bozanovsky and the kind of quality he could provide to our midfield depth. You look at someone like Wallity and how good he could be as an impact sub. You look at our need for a left winger.
Grimaldi.
You've got fucking Grimaldi right there.
What do we think, by the way, so since you sort of touched on it, do you guys feel that we should trial a back three?
I think
not just for defensive reasons,
not
but
for
also
defensive reasons, but for build-up, creative, and for the fact that it simply fits the profile of our existing players much better.
Josh, would you give it a go, or do you still?
No, I'd give it back three a go.
Give it a go, Will? Would you give it a go?
But the thing is, what's the point in saying this? Because we know it's not going to happen.
And we know we're not going to get
Doesn't
preseason
matter.
friendlies
We've
to
been
try it
saying
out, so there's no point.
I would say I'd love that idea, but only if it means Dave gets sacked and someone else does it.
Well, look, let's just clarify first of all that David is, for as much as there is valid criticism towards his way, he will not get sacked.
No.
There is no indication.
Don't say no.
There is no indication of that.
No, he's going tomorrow, James.
However, again, based on the comments that were made by Ross Pelligra, Vince Grella, and even Stan, there was the very clear indication that year one was almost like a free hit. Year two, you've got to hit the ground running. He could not have made a worse start to preseason. But
why? They really said that he really got.
I'm so moved by
you know
those
what? You know what this is? It's like backyard cricket. He gets bowled on the first ball. Don't worry, Dave. You can't get out first ball. Second one, he just fucking hoofs up in the air.
Yeah.
He just hoofs up in the air, caught straight out, gone.
Yeah.
That is what's happened here.
yeah.
Can I just say something?
Sure.
I was just looking at some stuff with the Milan game, and I just kind of want to insert this in here. If, for whatever reason, there are any Glory players listening to this right now, I just want you to know this, in case you didn't already.
First of all, why? Why are you listening to us?
Second of all, just if it wasn't for Okafor scoring a brace, because he got man of the match on FOTMob, if it wasn't for him getting that second goal, man of the match would have gone to a young lad called Komoto.
Christian Komoto.
He bossed that entire midfield for that first half, completely disassembled you lot. He's 17.
Yeah.
You got absolutely ripped to shreds by a 17-year-old.
I believe he still hasn't made a professional appearance.
He hasn't even got a profile picture on FOTMob. I just want you, if there's anyone here, I want you to sit there and go, damn, we got ripped apart by a child who hasn't even made a professional appearance before.
Yeah.
That is how poor
the highest
that
level he
was.
has played is Serie C, I'm pretty sure, with Milan Futuro.
And you-
Serie C or Serie D.
And he's mostly been with the under 20s.
That is the same level. That is the same level that Carlo Armiento was at last season.
Yeah. And you got absolutely demolished by him.
Yeah.
Didn't know how to contain him. Looked lost in midfield because
So-
he was balling out.
In term,
Fucking Penenked. He Penenked our keeper
Yes.
as well.
So in terms of a recruitment focus, knowing that we
Christian Komoto, welcome to the Perth Glory.
So in terms of a recruitment focus, knowing that we only have the one visa spot left, and the fact that it's unlikely Dave will pivot from his 4-4-2,
It pivots from
where
the chair.
what positions would you like to see strengthened? In particular, knowing that again we have that one visa spot starting with
Manager
Will.
spot.
Look, preferably we change the formation to a 5-back, but we know that's not going to happen. Sticking with the 4-4-2, if we do, which we will, you have to look at an inside forward off of the left wing who can create a lot better to add to the fact that Sutton is going to be continuing to make those overlapping
and performing quite well.
Yes, absolutely. You need another striker. Someone needs to partner tags. Soleimani is a great understudy but has injury problems. Nat Blair is a phenomenal hold-up striker but struggles with finishing. Both of which can make great impacts late in the game and can start here and there when you need them to when the time is right. But they cannot be starting strikers this season.
I would like Jamie McLaren.
Would you guys go... All of you, would you consider reviving the Lolly deal for as slim as a possibility
I
of
would say
happening?
no. I would say no.
At this point, no. I'd rather have McLaren.
Here's the thing, right?
No, I'd only take McLaren if we get a left winger.
That's fair.
But would you? But Lolly's a no, right?
I think I'd prefer a left winger.
Daniel De Silva.
And someone younger as well.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though, right?
Dele Alli.
We need to cut down the squad seriously.
Yeah, we do.
Seriously
We
need to
do.
cut down the squad because if we're going to think of making any more signings, which we desperately need, by the way,
Two
this
at the very
squad
least.
has to be cut down. there are several signings. Look, we can say goalkeeper, haha, let's sign a new goalkeeper all we want.
We probably
Olisau's
do
not
need
going to
it.
leave the club,
No.
and even if we do, we've got 3 senior goalkeepers. Pretty much all 3 are going to stay this season. We've accepted that.
Sorry, just to cut you off. How did you all boys think that Birras played?
I can't blame him for anything because we just played like shit. He didn't exactly have
Yeah.
any help, did he?
Well, that first goal was straight out of him, and he just.
Aside from the first goal.
The first goal was
Yeah.
shit. The rest you can't really give him crap for.
Yeah, look,
because-
I think both of them were kind of bad, but I can't really say much about Birighitti because it was his first game
Yeah,
and
it's
it's against
his
AC
game
Milan.
back.
I can't knock him,
Yeah, that's
but
fair.
I will say in the second half, not to go at Ollie Sale again. That goal was at number 7 or 8, where they smashed it in near post over his head because he just stayed rooted on his line and
He
just
made a
waited.
decent
He
save,
just
though, to be
waited, and then it just went over his head.
Yeah, that was,
holy David De Gea.
Yunus Musa.
Musa, sorry.
Yeah, stuck on his line. David De Gea regen, just watching the ball.
Sale made a good save.
Deglued, huh?
He did make one decent.
Congratulations, man does job again. Like, wow.
Yeah.
No, but
On that
here's
kind
the
of
thing, right?
yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't see the need to go back in for Lolly because now with the recent development that Western United could be falling apart and might not even be able to register Jaden Kaczarski, and the fact that the ISL is nearly at its tipping point to folding, there is a very big potential pool of players that could be coming in. If you're looking at a new strike partnership for Taggart, you've got guys like Jordan Murray, you've got guys like Jason Cummings, you've got guys like Jamie McLaren that could now become available. You've got guys like Jaden Kaczarski that could now become available. You're looking for a left winger, you've got guys like Matthew Grimaldi, you've got guys like Dimi Petratos. You're looking for a new right back to compete.
Spending all your money on one big
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you're looking for a new right back as well to compete with Risden. Cool. You've got Sharmoon. You've got Tate Russell.
You've got Labib.
You've got
That's it.
Labib Labib.
Yeah.
There are plenty of players now that are becoming available that we seriously need to look at. We need to gut the players that aren't needed in this squad, take them off contracts. Look, the players that aren't needed and the players that don't provide immediate quality to the starting 11 or bench need to be taken off their deals. They need to be gotten rid of, and we need to seriously look about how we're going to build this squad for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You can't be looking
6, 7.
to extend the contracts of these aging veterans that aren't even our first choice substitutes. You can't be doing that.
Like,
right?
yeah.
Look, I desperately want to see all the older Perth boys coming back and doing great. But someone like Brandon O'Neill, I think we can all accept. No.
How did I know you were gonna go for him?
Sorry. Jokes aside. Brandon O'Neill is our 5th or 6th choice midfielder.
6th.
5th or 6th.
We
just
have a
say
very
it,
strong
right?
midfield.
We have a 2-man double pivot. Here's our 5th or 6th midfield option.
That's on fucking.
There
That's
should
on
not
fucking
even
Stan.
be. There should in an A-League squad.
Yeah.
When we're only allowed 7 players on the bench per game, a squad of 18 per match,
Overkill.
there should not even be a 5th and 6th option. There should be 1 and 2, our starters, Amos Pennington, sure. 3 and 4, that's all you need. Oh, massive injury crisis? Call someone up from the fucking academy. You do not need a 5th
Which
and
we have
6th
a decent
option
one.
on a pro deal,
Yeah.
taking up valuable
Yeah.
wage spots that
Squad space.
it has been proven that these additions and the lack of our ability to get rid of these players has cost us in signings this season.
Yeah.
It's very well documented. We were in for the likes of Jelicic, but couldn't match the fee. We were in for the likes of Lolly, but couldn't match the price that Sydney wanted.
No.
Sydney didn't want to release him or whatever.
Sydney
there are
didn't-
several other players that we have been in for that we haven't been able to match the
Asking wage,
requested
the
asking
wage.
But we were
wage
also-
and whatever.
But we've also been trying our luck with bigger fish and failing spectacularly.
I wonder
Because
why.
But James,
Yeah.
that's because we have no wiggle room in this cap or in this wage budget because we have people on the books that don't need to be there.
I know.
We still have.
No one's disagreeing.
I know. We have 3 senior keepers. That's
Yes.
not needed.
Which is overkill.
We have a 5th and 6th choice midfielder on pro deals.
And no-
5 cents.
It's
Why
not
did we
needed.
sign Birighitti if either Say or Cook wasn't going to go?
I don't know.
I don't know.
And
That's. But
I don't know.
For someone who was routinely on the radio for all of last pre-season, he has been awfully quiet. And this is the thing: it is the job of a director of football to
But
have
be
a.
fair, I think he was told to be quiet.
probably.
I know, but
Good.
it's the job. It's the job of a director of football to have a plan about what squad you're trying to build, and importantly, trying to sign players that suit your coach's vision.
Yeah.
We're not David's biggest fan here, all 4 of us.
Well,
but
James is, but we're not.
I'm very 50-50 on him, but more to the
How
point.
can you be 50?
Just wait. he probably shouldn't be here. But point is, it's not helped if you've got Stan that isn't signing the right players to suit
We have a
David's
large
system,
squad, but still no 10.
and still no
Somehow.
wingers. Still no
And
wingers.
no senior left winger. Still no senior strike partner
Yeah.
for tag.
Somehow.
But let's sign more centre backs and centre midfielders.
I have a
Let's
really
sign
I have a
3
prediction. Here's what's
goalkeepers
going to
on pro
happen.
deals.
Super League's going to go down, all right? One of the rich investors from the Super League is like, oh, I need a team. He goes and buys Western. He then brings all his players from the Super League and makes Western a powerhouse, and then Western win the league. And we get
Optimistic.
nothing. And then, well, I don't really care, but it'd just be kind of funny.
Could you imagine if the Perth Glory gets bought out by an Indian superpower?
No.
I can't either because it's
Yeah.
not going to happen. Remember
I'm
Red Bull
actu-
Perth, guys? That was
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, we saw Ryan and McLaren training with Perth.
They've been in.
players.
Yeah,
They've been in Perth.
because they live here or their families live here,
yeah.
Josh.
So, but this,
Yeah.
but the point is also our viewers may not know this, and we did point this out a number of times in our group chat. Jamie McLaren did start following Perth Glory in the last month or so when he hadn't been following them on Instagram previously.
Yeah, because he kind of had a rough end with
I know,
us.
I know.
So I don't blame
Though
him.
it is a little interesting. At the
It
very
is. Maybe.
least. And a lot
yeah.
of our squad are currently being followed.
Sagey's not here anymore, Jamie. Come
Hey,
home,
but look,
please.
I mean, look. If there's any chance of us possibly getting a big fish, go for McLaren. And then you-
Kolokovsky, come home.
Here
I
he
know
is,
you-
mate.
I know you're in Perth, and I know you've got injuries, but for a January window signing, I would love you
if
to
he can
come
get himself
home.
fit, no worries. Get him.
Yeah. Well, apparently we don't do that in Perth.
The fact that Kolokovsky, coming off of a serious knee ligament injury, would probably get himself fitter than half of our A-League squad when he's not expected back training for another 5 months
Well, he's
is so telling
yeah.
to where the state of the squad is right now.
So, where to from here?
Stupid question.
Down.
I don't know, James. You tell me, mate. You got all the answers, don't you?
Where to from here,
At
guys?
James Renton _10 news or whatever it is you do.
At Zizou season.
At Zizou season.
My answers.
Oh,
Write me an article,
look,
boy.
I'm
What have
James
you got
Renton.
for me?
My
I write
article-
articles on top 10 Slovenian wingers that could really
there was no
revolutionise the Glory.
Slovenian winger that I suggested in that piece.
Look, where to from here is genuinely like, I would say it's flip a coin,
Yep.
but it's like, I say tails, but they're both heads. Because
No, it lands in the middle. It lands in the middle.
No, because that would imply that it's neutral. It's going to be bad. You know, tails we're good, heads we're bad. It's double heads.
Yeah.
That's it. Because I don't see a world with the current.
He's saying that there's no possible way that we're going to be good next season. He's
Yeah.
saying like he's flipping a coin with heads on both sides, trying to get tails.
Yeah.
I saw
So-
our Coast Watch football put us at 10th, by the way. I think
Yeah.
That's pretty generous.
That's
pretty
big.
generous,
I know, only because
Coast-
Western
Coast Watch,
fold
mate.
and
I don't know what you're
probably
smoking
because
over
MacArthur and Western are going to fall.
and there's and
Probably, yeah.
Then, and
But
then
who the hell's going to finish below us? there? They
Mariners,
still need one
Mariners,
more.
Mariners are going to fold.
yeah, there you go.
Mariners
All
are gonna
three.
fall.
We'll go back to a 10-league team.
Yippee.
Proper football. No, look, it can only be bad, in my opinion. And you know what? I'm at nearly every, when I'm not working, MPL game. Mr. Lazarese, if you'd like to come have a chat to me what I'm about to say, by all means, I'd love to have a conversation because you're going awfully quiet.
I'm pretty sure he was
But-
at the Florey game for like 5 minutes.
That's fine. You
Yeah,
pull up
twenty-
it.
Near his house.
Like,
Wilbur's too busy rescuing a rainbow lorikeet.
yeah, look, dude, if you want to come chat to me about this, be my guest. But I don't see the club moving forward in any positive direction while you're here. Okay? And that's just my personal opinion because you haven't shown me anything that would indicate that we actually are going anywhere while you've been here. You know, Ross is one thing. I will say that, again, I'm still not happy that he made all those promises and he hasn't apologized for not making them. But I will say from what we have heard is his investment is not the problem. It's you, to put it frankly, and Dave.
And your decisions.
And your decisions. And honestly, I don't know what else to say to you other than please just be better. Because...
Or know that you're not the right fit.
Or
and
leave.
Step down.
Just,
Step down.
be a
Or
big man.
Big JB needs to pull his
It'd be
fucking
great-
head out
no,
for once. That would
no,
be nice.
it'd be great. It'd be great if we could get Burnsy, but I think there are too many problems, either publicly or that have been told privately.
Oh, no,
that-
I'm not talking about Jacob
no,
Burns.
I'm talking about
James.
Stan. I'm talking about Stan. I'm saying that in regards to him, that there have been problems that have been leveled towards him either publicly or privately that strongly suggest that he has been problematic, and there are strong concerns over whether his leadership and his ability to perform his role in running the whole football program is the best move for this football club.
It
moving
isn't.
Forward.
It
I
isn't
know.
because we beat someone for
Yep.
the first time in who knows how long,
Yep.
and we get, we're going to win it next year, and then you lose in the first game you have of the new season, and
We
then you
lost.
lose by 9 goals, and you get we're a bit underdone. I don't want to hear it.
Someone needs to.
Did you just slam your?
I did, but I don't want to hear it because you are
someone
clearly
needs to-
incompetent. This is a boys' club, right?
I'll have
But
to
you didn't
bleep
get
this
this
out.
job because you're good at it. You got it handed to you on a silver platter, and you're taking the piss out of it. That's all you're doing. If you want to come talk to me about this and tell me how I'm wrong, please do. Prove me wrong.
Or let Gareth interview you publicly.
No, I
on a
don't want that because you just go, well, we've got a lot of things going on behind the scenes. Don't you worry, mate. Shut up.
You know what would help? If there was a interview done by the fans or by the Glory 10 directly to Stan Lazaridis.
Yeah, but they'll just give us
No,
stupid
because
answers.
actions speak
No,
louder than
us
words.
answers.
I'm done with words. All I get are promises.
Yeah, fuck words.
No,
I want more words.
I get promises about, we're going to do this, guys. Don't worry. You won't recognize the club in 12 months. Yappa, yappa, yappa. Shut your mouth. You move like a rat.
He
Right?
was speaking French there for a second.
Like-
I swear to God.
I don't want words anymore. I'm so over words because all the words we get are just stupid BS promises that mean absolutely nothing. Because this is
the
just
Glory,
pathetic.
They should be grateful they have fans like us that are annoyed
Yes.
right now because most fans, and I don't blame them, have walked away and not renewed their
And
membership.
I don't blame them whatsoever because why would you bother?
Why would you?
I've got
bother?
fucking Stockholm syndrome with this football club. Genuinely.
Well, that's the thing.
Someone needs to explain the definition of insanity to the people that run this club. Doing the same shit over and over and over again and expecting a different result. How many times are we going to underspend on a squad? And then do shit. And then underspend on the next squad. And then do shit. And then underspend on the next squad. And then do shit. And then when we finally have money, we still underspend on the fucking squad. Or we spend money on players that don't fit the style of the manager. And then we do shit again.
To conclude
Yeah, to conclude.
on what I was saying, look, Stanley, I'm not saying that I think you are,
That
you
was
know,
so zesty.
well, I don't care. I'm not saying that I think, you're an awful person. I just don't think you're doing a good job. And the problem I'm having is that I keep being told by either you or the people above you that you will do a good job. And so far, after 18 months, you have not done a good job. So please...
Or if you feel that you should still be here, explain very clearly why you believe you should
Because
be here. and
I
what you have
remember a
accomplished.
quote saying if we're in this position this time next year, which was quoted last year,
And we're not-
you wouldn't be here.
And we're not doing the things that I promised, and we're not in a better place. Than
And
we
you're
were.
not. You're still here. Why? Why are you still here when you said you'd be gone? This is one of the worst seasons we've ever had, if not the worst season we've ever had. We're actually worse than we were last time you said this, and you're still here.
Remember when they told us 18 months ago that you wouldn't recognise the club in
Yes,
12 months?
Alex, I do. And I also
I
remember
don't recognise it now.
I don't recognise it
in a
because
worse
it's a
way.
shell.
Shit.
Like, you have broken multiple things that you said you were going to do. It's a genuine disgrace. This club is one of the founding clubs of Australian football, let
We were the
alone...
model club for every A-League club.
Look what you've done to
base
us.
itself. Yeah. But it's,
Look,
Yeah.
genuinely look. I don't know if you have eyes that actually work functionally because you seem to not be able to understand what's going on the pitch, let alone what you're doing with your signings.
Look what you've done to Will.
at
You've
what
broken
What
you've
is,
done.
you've broken me. Like, you don't understand how much I've been through as a fan of this club, and yet this is the breaking point.
Jeez, you're going to get him in that Hannibal Lecter sort of outfit.
I'm an Everton fan as well, and you don't even understand what I've been through with that.
Fucking
But yet,
hell.
this is the worst I've felt about a club. You did this.
And
I literally sat through a midfield of Ilkay Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, and Matej Kovacic last season, and this is so much worse.
Obviously. Obviously.
Thanks for the perspective.
I sat through the salary cap game where we were losing to Sydney 3-0 at halftime and everybody just wanted to leave and just pack it up. And yet, half the games last season, it was worse.
Honestly, Alex, you should just go and support Melbourne City because
Yeah.
I might as well, bro.
I see you
I would
supporting
be
New York
so
City.
much fucking happier if I supported Melbourne City.
And I just want to say...
And their club is a shithole.
Shut it. All I'm saying is this is not an attack on your character. Okay? So if there's any kind of like defamation, well, you said this, I don't want to hear it. I'm not calling you anything other than that I think that you're doing a bad job. And if you can show me why you're not doing a bad job, by all means, I will change my opinion. But you haven't done it. You know? As much as I go on about, we need to get rid of Dave, the manager's only one part of the problem. It goes above the manager. And I'm running out of things to say that I haven't already said.
Here's a cool thought. Who signs the manager?
Yeah.
Who gave you, and if someone did give you the right, please let us know, who gave you the right to treat this club like it's your personal playground? I don't know who did.
I can. It's Jason Bontempo, our new vice chairman, who
Big
probably, as I put out, I think it was yesterday, I would strongly advise, given that he is now our new vice chairman and he is, I believe, the only main Pelligra Group representative that is here in Perth, officially speaking. I believe it would be within your best interest to introduce yourself publicly, explain what your remit is, what you do, what your involvement is at the club, what your roles are, and what our movements are moving forward. Because if we're not going to hear it from Stan, or if we're not going to hear it from Dave, and we're not going to hear it, I guess, from Radic, then it's up to you then, because it won't be Ross, because Ross is either too busy or talking about golden spoons or breaking chairs in first class.
I forget that Radic is even at the club, man.
So, but this is the thing. This is the club are now in a position where they've got to have some form of very clear and transparent communication with the
Which
fan.
we promised we'd get.
I know, but they need to do so now more than ever to either reassure or to explain or to show us what we're going to be doing over the course of the preseason. What are we doing in terms of preseason games? What are we doing in terms of signings? What are we officially saying in response to the start to our preseason, where our owner and director in Pelligra and Grella all said that, everyone's on borrowed time.
Yeah.
So I think, be it Bontempo, be it Ross, be it Grella, be it someone, we need to be hearing from you. You can't be, doing what you did for a lot of last season, which was running for cover and hiding, because it could not have come at a worse time for us to try and promote the new membership campaign the day before we lost 9-0 to Milan, which was routinely laughed at. Every single newspaper called it an embarrassment or a humiliation. No one was saying, "Oh, geez, Glory were a little bit unlucky, weren't they? They were playing a really good
You
team."
can't lose 9-0
I saw.
What did you see?
Well, first of all, we changed our hashtag from One Glory to Glory is One. The amount
Holy
of
chat GPT.
the amount of people that I saw commenting hashtag Glory is 0 is unreal.
I saw Glory as none. That was kind of funny.
So I think that's the thing, just to sort of wrap things up so that we're not rambling on for too long.
We initially were hoping for this to be a much nicer episode of us just sort of getting back into the swing of things.
we weren't.
And Josh, we were hoping.
He's
for it
revealed
to
a
be.
plan
Before this club
this- no.
reminded us how much of a shithole it is.
Before this episode, you said in the group chat, I'm going to absolutely hammer them on this podcast.
No, I'm saying like last week before the Wellington game. We were hoping that our return to podcasting would be a lot nicer than this is. And look, obviously,
I don't want to make these episodes.
Oh, yeah.
I want us to do well. I want to be able to praise the boys and praise the club and
100%.
praise Ross and praise Stan.
And look, obviously, there's a direct correlation between our club doing shit and us getting better views on YouTube. That's not what this
We're
is
not
about.
wanting
We're
that.
here
I
because
don't
we
care about
are
that.
here because we want to talk about a club that we are all passionate about, that we all want to see do well, that has done well in the past and is slowly slipping away from those standards that made us so great. And we want to hold people accountable for it. And that's what we do here. And we're provided with that opportunity by you beautiful people at home that make it possible. So thank you so much for one.
Just to clarify as well, if people are finding that our reaction is a little bit excessive for 1 month of pre-season, can we just remind you, we have seen this shit show before and we know exactly how it ends, and we're already seeing the rerun of that movie again.
Yeah,
So
I promise
that's why
you,
we are quite alarmed at this point in time.
I promise you with all of my heart, that entire tangent I just went on was not because I think it's going to be funny and people are going to watch that and go, "Oh, he's funny.
look
he's
at Will.
he's clip farming." No, right? Oh, it's funny Will again. No, I'm doing it because I'm genuinely just so tired, right?
Yeah.
In my opinion, there are levels of fans, right? And no fan is
class
wrong.
division.
As I just said, hey. As I just said, no fan is wrong for being this type of fan, right? It's just a fact.
I mean, I agree. We do this podcast out of passion. It's
Right.
I drive an hour to get here. I don't do it. We don't even get paid.
Yeah,
We
no.
might get 500 views because we lost 9-0 to Milan.
Yeah.
But we don't get paid.
So my point,
Please sponsor.
the point I'm trying to make is that there are levels of fans, right? There's, if we start, there's the casual fan, right?
Yep.
Who will go, oh yeah, I live in Perth and I
Go to the odd game.
I guess I support Perth Glory because I live in Perth, right?
Yeah.
Again, nothing wrong with that. That's just who you are, and that's okay, right? Then you get the fans who will watch a couple games every year. They'll go maybe
On
2
and
or 3 on and off.
when you get those 3
they'll-
passes from football.
Yeah,
at the start of the season.
exactly. You'll check the ladder maybe once a month and go, how are the Glory doing? Right? Then you go up a level. You get the ones that will try and make games whenever they can, but sometimes they just can't because they have a life, and
Yeah.
that's fine, right? Then you get the ones who have memberships. Maybe they don't get the memberships, they don't buy it themselves, but they could give it to them by friends or whatever, and they go with their mates and they enjoy going, and they're a casual fan, but they watch every game. Then you get the ones that go to every game.
Diehards.
No, not yet.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
You go to every game, right? But you don't really care. It's just something to do. You like football, you like Perth, so you go to every Glory game, right?
Yeah.
And you just wish the A-League was better, but you go anyway because you've just moved from the UK and the quality of football's not great, right? Then you get the diehards who will go to every single game, follow it passionately. They might not always have to go to every game, but they'll keep up with. If they're not watching it at the game, they'll be watching it on the TV. Then you get people like us,
Yeah.
right, who are diehards, but also, the people just below, probably at the sign of things going to shit, they'll be like, okay, it's bad, but whatever, it doesn't affect my life. This affects us because we care so much, right? There is a point to this.
I
Bear
would be
with me.
classist.
But even above all that, superior to
Fair.
everyone
I'm
else.
not saying, okay.
Above all
Are
that,
you
superior.
saying
hold
that
on,
we're
hold
bigger
on,
fans
hold
or
on,
not?
No, I'm not.
Above all that, superior to everyone else are people that
Claire.
subscribe to the Glory Days
No,
podcast.
shut up,
So
shut up.
make sure.
I'm making a point. Let me make my point, or I'll go on around about you next. Right?
Oh, please don't.
And then the final tier, right, in my opinion,
Final class.
in terms of those who put up with the most crap from this club,
Yep.
are the ones who actually organise things at the games, such as the shed leaders, the bay leaders,
Yep.
those kinds of things, right? The ones that no matter what, they will travel across the other side of Australia to watch, no matter how bad we are, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember a time where the club has been that bad that now we've gotten to the point where the diehards and those who are in the same categories as us, right, are now getting so sick of it that we're cancelling our memberships, right? It has never gotten to this point in recent memory. Maybe the salary cap scandal for a few months where people were just outraged, but then we started to kind of build up again, and the campaign they ran to get everyone back together was quite good. It was gone to a point now where it's heading towards that only the ones who actually have something to organise at the games are the ones that actively want to go.
Yeah, there's no incentive.
There's no incentive.
But we've been saying this for years now.
And the only time we get good turnouts at games now are
Free tickets.
at the start of the season when there's free tickets through Football West,
Yeah.
or when Ross randomly decides to give away free tickets to under 16s.
Yeah.
And
Or
that's
to
literally
footballers.
Or to footballers,
yeah.
which happens when the new season starts. To incentivize
Or
to register for a new team.
11,000.
Yeah, that right. So my point is, it is getting to a level of pure, just unheard of territory for this very proud historic club in Australia. That, as we read in the comments, someone who has been a member since the late 90s has now for the first time cancelled his membership. This is the level we're getting to now, where even the most diehard, passionate fans are saying, I can't justify the money anymore of attending and purchasing things for this club. That's how bad it is. And these are the fans, Stan, Ross, whatever the hell, whoever's listening or whoever's at fault, everybody, that you're affecting.
Even you didn't want to do your platinum.
I don't think I will be. I haven't even bought a membership yet, but I can't see a world where I will be buying any membership this season if things don't change.
I mean, especially this AC Milan game, I'm going to retouch a bit. The publicity's terrible. I literally heard obviously Perth has a big Italian community, and I literally heard the guys in front of me go, haha, Birgitti, vaffanculo.
Yeah.
Well, how many times did we have that gentleman that was next to us at least 3 or 4 times say Kingsway should be out there, not Glory?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had an older gentleman decked out fully in Glory attire.
Yeah.
He was stunned The entire time, he was stunned at how poorly we were doing.
Yeah.
Compared to
and
on the same week that we had a historic event with Kingsway beating Melbourne Victory.
And what
we
chant-
put out
what-
a shit show.
and what chant broke out in the second half that was all too familiar to that one game that we had, or those few games that we had.
We're fucking shit.
No, we've got the ball and we've lost the ball. That was like
we heard both.
that
We
was
also
a-
had a Mexican wave.
it was a PTS. No, but that was a PTSD back to when we were 5-0 down against City, when it was like, what are we watching?
The only thing that was different is that chant wasn't immediately followed by Thick of It from KSI.
Okay,
True.
right. Anyway, final point on what I was just saying before Big Mouth over here decided.
Ooh!
Well, I have no fucking patience anymore, bro.
Yeah, I know you
Fuck.
don't. I don't want to tell the millionaire how to run a business, so I won't. But I'm just
Billionaire.
going to state a billionaire, whatever the hell, I don't care. You cannot run a sustainable business, because at the end of the day, football clubs are businesses, right?
Yep.
When the product you're producing doesn't have anyone who wants to purchase it anymore. If you release products such as releasing or managing a football team that nobody wants to invest in with their own money to come and use and watch,
Or their own time.
or their own time, you will not make any money, which is obviously the end goal, which is what you want to do. So might I suggest you start working on the fan relations before it's too late, because I never ever thought I would get to a point with this team where I don't care anymore. I never thought I'd get there. But somehow the last 2 years, I'm getting to that point now where I'm starting to lose most of the caring I have left. I genuinely am. And I never thought I'd get there.
Just
But I'm getting close.
Just to wrap things up, I think whenever we next do our next episode, I'm going to be very intrigued to see how things are by
Yeah.
round one.
We'll probably... Well, our next
Very-
episode probably
and
won't
I-
be till round one.
And I
will it?
hope to fuck it's that people have pulled their finger out their ass.
I hope
and we
so.
look in a much better way.
I hope it's
than-
that Stan's come out and been vocal and said, look, okay, we're going to do this,
And-
we're going to do that, we're going to do this. Here's some friendlies.
and we
here's
look
some signings,
fit
here's some-
and we look sharp and we
No.
look like we're ready to go for the season. But I
Yeah.
think we can all say, all
The
four
fact
of us,
that
we're not confident.
I genuinely have more pride nowadays watching the Glory NPL than I do watching the Glory first team, because at least I know that with these young players, they're trying to make something of themselves. They're trying
Yeah.
to actually improve. They're
Just-
trying to make something of their careers in this club, and they've done a fantastic job this season. When I look at the A-League side
Yeah.
for the Glory, it's nothing but fucking.
Just as a final point from that Milan or even the Wellington game, I'm stunned that Seb Despotovsky didn't get more
Oh,
minutes.
yeah,
I'm
that's-
stunned. I'm
2
stunned.
minutes. 2
I am
minutes at the end.
stunned that he didn't get more minutes.
A minute and a half against Wellington in a meaningless end of season game, and
Off-
what was it?
what-
3 minutes against AC Milan in
Yeah,
a massive preseason
and wasn't
friendly.
even on the
What's
bench.
the point?
Despotovsky,
What's he supposed to do?
a huge name
Yeah.
in not only Perth Glory but A-League
Western-
football
Western
in general.
Australian in particular.
Western Australian sporting culture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Despotovsky's a famous last name.
The Crown Jewel's son.
Yeah.
Our
He's-
best NPL performing player.
He's got a
gets-
mural at Optus.
Gets,
Pardon?
He's got a thing at Optus, hasn't he, Despo?
I
I have
wouldn't be
no idea.
surprised.
When you
But-
walk in, you've got the Glory. I think it's Despo on the
I
wall.
think so. But the best NPL player that we have had.
He's been
I'm not
very
going to
good
include
this
Pierman
season.
as well, because Pierman wasn't this good in the NPL.
This is true.
Despo has been very good this season. I would
3
easily.
minutes. 3
Yeah,
minutes.
Yeah, that's baffling.
Meanwhile,
Baffling.
there's people playing 120 minutes in the Oz Cup and we're still starting them out. There's, rotation players in the NPL that are getting half an
Unless
hour,
there's
20
some kind of
minutes.
knock we don't know about, which makes... I don't
No,
know.
he wasn't.
Yeah.
No, he was. I believe from my information that he was likely to start or be at least in the squad for the game against Wellington, but was then dropped.
Yay. Anyway, this episode's gone on way too long. We might have to cut it into 2 pieces, but if we can
There we
get
go.
final sentences, we'll start with Josh. Anything to end on?
I think we've got a lot to do before the start of the season. Otherwise, we are in the shit, and we cannot afford to have another bad season. Like, I actually think this could be a blessing in disguise. Hopefully, because I think it could be a good wake up call for Stan, Ross, Dave,
Yeah.
and everyone at the Glory.
I agree. I think this has been one of the worst starts to a pre-season that we've had. But the great thing about it being the longest off-season in the world football, I should say, there's plenty of time for us to fix shit up. So
Yep.
Hopefully, when we next do our episode, we're a little bit more cheery.
Alex?
Do you want to go first?
No, you can go first. I know.
Look, I have nothing positive to say at this moment about the club. I don't think anyone here really does. But
Guess in the thick of it.
if we can give something positive, it's that we want to thank you all so much. for sticking with us.
The engagement has been unreal, by the
The
way.
engagement's been unreal on the Twitter and on the socials and everything. But just last season as well, such a shit year. And I know some of you are just sadistic people that love to see us suffer. But
Assholes.
for you actual Glory fans that are toughing it out with us and actually do stick by us and support us, we want to thank you so much because it genuinely means the world to us. And we're going to continue, as much as it hurts, and goddamn it hurts, we're going to continue to bring you the best coverage that we can of all things Perth Glory this season. Will, any final
That
words?
name's already taken.
Yeah, it's taken. Yeah,
It's already
copyrighted
taken, mate.
on TikTok.
What?
All things Perth Glory.
Oh, shut up.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up.
William. It's William.
Just to finish the pod off, everyone I've mentioned by name tonight, mainly that one guy, but
Who?
okay. All I'll say is just prove us wrong, please.
Yeah.
I will. That's it.
He'll do anything.
Prove us wrong. That's it.
Ladies and gents, we want to thank you all so much once again for tuning into the Glory Days podcast. We are back, and we are probably going to be taking a 2-month break. Nah, we'll try to bring
Focus on conditioning.
We'll try to bring episodes
30
on an infrequent basis throughout pre-season. If something major happens, if we have any major signings, any major departures, or just anything of note that needs to be mentioned, we will of course be live. We are now on TikTok as well at Glory Days Pod, so make sure you follow us there. And for any business inquiries and anything of the sort, we will leave our email down below. But we want to thank you all once again. It has been an incredibly rough start to pre-season, and it's going to be an incredibly rough season for the rest of us. And we hope that you guys
Hopefully
will
not.
stick along with us.
Hopefully not.
Whether you're Glory fans or not, we appreciate you guys all nonetheless. Thank you all so much. We'll see you all on episode 37.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.